Hey, welcome to the Variable Y Minute with your host, the Variable Y. I want to thank you guys so much for joining me after this weekend, this fabulous, wonderful NBA All Star weekend. Normally, there are a lot of people who like to hate on the NBA All Star weekend. I wonder why that is. But I digress. And they like to talk about it. Oh, they played on defense. Oh, the game is not that interesting, and blah 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 blah. It's an all-star game, people. Like, all-star games in general aren't that interesting. All-star games in general normally start out with people doing things that they wouldn't do in normal games because it's not a normal game. Like, we're not watching a playoff game or a championship game. We're watching an exhibition. We want to see guys who don't normally play on the same team, and we want to see them do things that they can't do in real games. We watch the real games to see real play, real defense, real strategy. We watch all-star games to see people do things that they would never ever do. The baseball all-star game, almost 20 years ago, where it ended in a tie, where Barry Bonds almost hit the home run and Torrey Hunter climbed the wall and grabbed it, and then Barry Bonds went out and gave him like the biggest bear hug and picked him up on his shoulder. That's why I watched the All Star game, the NBA All Star game, where Magic Johnson, the year that he announced that he had had HIV and he still played in the game, and the game ended with him hitting three threes in a row, where guys are playing defense on him, but he's still getting his shots off and he's still making it. That's why I watch these games, and the Pro Bowl where the Pro Bowl, I can't even say it without laughing. The Pro Bowl where Sean Taylor lit the punter up for trying to run a fake, and Sean Taylor lit his up. This is why we watch All Star games. We watch it for the enjoyment of seeing some of these guys that, I guess now in 2020, it's easy to see every single guy play whenever you want. If there's a guy you like, there's a guy you think may be good, you can see him play. Maybe dating myself here a little bit, but I remember growing up, that wasn't always the case. There were some guys you didn't get to see until they played in the All Star game. I remember his first and second year, I didn't see a lot of Shaquille O'Neal. I had heard a lot about him, but I didn't see him because we're here in Atlanta. Back then, we didn't have cable at times. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. And even if we did, that I don't know if the NBA League Pass was around. I don't know, how many games they showed. So unless he played the Hawks and didn't have cable, we weren't going to see those games. So I didn't get a chance to see Shaquille O'Neal his first 2 years in the league. It wasn't until after that, then I started paying a lot more attention, started watching Sports Center, and I would see his highlights and things. And of course, after that, he made the playoffs. I could see everybody in the playoffs, but I couldn't see guys in the regular season. And the first 2 years he was there, he missed the playoffs. His first year, he missed it. The second year, they made it. I'm sorry, second year, they did make it. So I didn't see him until like midway through his second year because I saw him in the All Star game. And this was the case, of course, and even back in baseball, this was the case when guys weren't able to watch their players, their favorite players, unless they played in their hometown. If not, or unless those teams played them. And even back when I'm talking about this, back in those days, this was before interleague play. So if a guy played in a different league, American League or National League, if your favorite player played in a different league, but you lived in another league, like let's say it's me, back then, even now, I'm a Yankees fan. I live in Atlanta, so I can't see Yankees games back then. So what was I supposed to do except for watch the guys in the All Star game? So I say all of that to say I don't understand why people hate on the NBA All Star game. I've always thought it was fan flipping tastic. All Star weekend as a whole, I think it has its ebbs and flows, but I'm not alone in saying this. This year's was incredible. I think the 3-point shooting contest, when guys actually start hitting shots, I think it's very, very, very entertaining, very captivating to see if a guy can get on a hot streak and go for a win. And I think that Buddy Hield did it. and we saw him in a perfect scenario. We saw him with the opportunity to win the actual contest, come down to the last shot, and him hitting the last shot. So I thought that was incredible. And the dunk contest, I know, I'm there with you guys. I don't necessarily think that in 2016, I believe it was. I don't necessarily think that Aaron Gordon got robbed that year because I think that Zach LaVine actually won it. But I was cool with either one of those guys having won that year. This year, I'm not saying that Jones Jr. shouldn't have won it, but to get a 47 as opposed to a 50 or at least a 48, I do think that was kind of crazy. I don't know what warranted that. I mean, the man jumped over Taco Fall on his first dunk attempt. Not his second, not his third, but his first dunk attempt. And a 47? I got no words for that. I got no words. But hey, even if the outcome wasn't what we expected, the dunks were incredible. They were amazing. I think dunkers 1 through 4 all did a great job. All of them couldn't win, but they all put on a show. So that was pretty cool. And then we had the game last night, which was really, really good, and I think it goes the way it always does. And I know that people are just like, yeah, they don't play defense. I don't know what game you guys watch, and I get that you're probably not watching all the way through the end, but if you watch it all the way through the end, more often than not, it starts out with guys throwing lobs and shooting threes and all that stuff. And then around midway through the third quarter and then the fourth quarter, that's when the defense comes in. That's when the guys really, really start playing. That's when they want to go out and show, no, we're the best and we're going to do that. But I do think changing it to this format did kind of add a little spice to it. I did like where the winner of the quarter got money for their charity. I thought that was really cool. You heard the kids out there cheering for Team Giannis, and that adds a little bit of a spark to it. And I think that made it all the more interesting as a game. Of course, they had your Kobe tributes, and those were very touching and very special. And I thought that was great as well. And one last thing I had to say, and this is not really sports related, but she was there, so I got to say this. I don't know how the hell Jennifer Hudson didn't win American Idol because that woman, dude, like, I'm not telling you guys nothing that you don't already know, but that woman, if she can't win American Idol, who the hell is the American Idol? I don't understand it. Like, that woman can sing. I got nothing. I got nothing for you guys. That young lady can sing. And that's all I'm gonna say about that. Like, I got nothing. So anyway, guys, that's gonna be it for tonight. For me, for your man, the variable. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Again, you're watching this on the YouTube channel, The Variable Y Minute. Appreciate you. Like, share, and subscribe. Tell all your friends about me. I would appreciate that. You can catch me on Instagram as well at Variable Y altogether. And you can also catch me on Twitter at The Variable. Until tomorrow, guys, I appreciate you guys so much. I want you guys to have a great night, have a great day. Take care of yourself and your loved ones. And we will be back better than ever tomorrow night. Until then, have a great night, guys. Thanks.